Hello, I'm Susan Cowe Miller, and I'm on today to share the basics of EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, tapping, the tapping points. So thank you for being here, and I'm just going to do a very brief intro of what I do, a very brief intro. I've been working with EFT for over 10 years in my therapy practice, and I've been using this simple yet profoundly effective technique to help clients manage, reduce and clear emotional traumas and the stuff which disturbs. EFT also plays a key role in my position as a lifestyle prescriptions health coach. I work with clients who question why they have a chronic health symptom, and we work to unravel the root cause. The mind-body connection is very important in the work I do. And I've been drawn to give a solid little lesson. Hi, Carol. A solid little lesson to share the tapping points with people who are happy to have a refresh, who think or have thought, what's all that about? Or I don't know how to do it, so I'm not going to sit and do it. Or I've heard about EFT and it's time I looked into it. So if you fit one of these boxes and you're here, then that's great, or you listen to it in the future. I really want to find out certain things maybe at the end in the Q&A, but this is for you. And Carol, may I ask you just to, do you know how to mute yourself?
Yes, I'm used to using Zoom.
Okay, so I'm just going to fire away. Thanks very much. There's plenty that I can explain in the Q&A if you wish to stay for it. And I've got 3 little lessons, short and sharp, because this doesn't need to go on too long. The first one is just going over the tapping points. The second one is a little routine, starting with a stressor and working to lower its intensity. You know, the points like where you feel it and what the number of intensity might be. You may even find out that you can sense that it's got a shape or a colour. And the third brief exercise is a tapping routine, just using an affirmation, but going through the points. So these routines offer the quick fix. Today, it's all about the quick fix to help you get through your day. And regardless of what level you're at, if you're new to this, you can watch this several times, get the hang of it, and then use your own words. It's very easily learned, used, and effective. I'm just reading through a few little notes in the introduction. In my therapy practice, I use EFT at a deeper level, because it works in 2 areas: as a quick fix to help us get through our day, and these days we're certainly needing something, but also at a deeply transformational level. But that's the people I work with bigger problems who want a fix. They want to find out what's going on. So we're going to start with the tapping points on the energy meridians. And if I could ask you just to join in. I may have to raise myself up for one of the points. It's difficult getting the camera perfect. But we're only using the points at the moment. We're practicing the points and we're not saying anything. The only person that's talking is me at the moment. Probably a bit too much. Let's get cracking. The side of the hand. And we tap with fingertips. We can use 2 or 3 fingertips. We use this side of the hand karate point when we're starting a routine. We tap very gently. And the first point we go to is the top of the head. And we're working in energy channels of the body. We're working in energy meridians. Now, they all have special uses, but I'm not going to be technical. So the first point is the top of the head, and we gently tap for a few seconds. Then the next point, we're working with the eye socket. And the first point is in the corner of the eye, basically beside the nose. And as I usually say to people, we're not trying to blind ourselves or hurt ourselves. So just gently tap the corner of the eye. I'm not on the big screen. I can see you, but I'd like to see me a bit bigger, but it doesn't matter. Side of the eye. The side of the eye. One finger could be on the eye socket, but it's not set in stone, and we don't need to be pinpoint specific. You just don't need to be up here or down here. You're at the side of the eye, gently tapping. Then the lower eye socket. Now, again, I'm not going to give all these details because I want to just recap on the tapping points, but all these points offer release for certain aspects of emotional upset. And I'll offer to send you the one sheet PDF on this because it's very useful. You might even find if you're used to this or doing this, you think, oh, I like that point. Well, that means that point's relative. It's useful to to remember. The next point's under the nose, above the top lip. And we can use, as I say, 2 or 3 fingers. We don't need to squash them all in. It's very gentle. Then underneath the bottom lip, right in the middle, tapping away very gently. When we do the second exercise, I'm going to mention the points again and do a little statement which you'll copy. But you don't need to say the top of the head, side of the eye, etc. Now, the next point is on the collarbone. And later, when you want to practice this, there's a point, I'm running my fingers all along the collarbone because the base of the collarbone, this is a great point. But if you were to press just a little bit harder as you're going along, just a tiny bit harder, there'll be one area that you go, oh, that was a wee bit, I felt that one a bit more. That's a very good point. Keep that in mind. And then the last point we're going to do, which I don't need to stand up, but we're talking from the lady's point of view, it's the brass strap area. So when men are watching, we're just tapping underneath our arm in this area. There's a lot of energy channels running around in there. So those are the points. I'm now going to go on to the second exercise. But if everyone's okay, you can give me a quick thumbs up for me to go on, or if there's anything you want me to recap. You okay? Yeah. Okay. Grand. Now we're going to actually, I forgot one thing. I'm going to ask you to sit and look at your screen, relax, take a couple of deep breaths. And then I'm going to ask you to raise your eyes just a fraction and focus on a pinpoint. And become aware of the peripheral vision that you can see all the way to the sides. You can maybe see your ceiling. You can maybe see the floor. It's up to you. You'll know what you can see. And then just give your head a tiny shake and come back, because we're opening our senses to what we can see and feel. And those are the 2 main senses that we'll be using just now. What we can see, what jumps into our head that we can see, and what we can sense in our body. So back to the karate point, please. And this is going to be a very simple routine. And I'm going to do it by the book. I'd like you to repeat after me, please, because the starter point is we make a negative statement and then we qualify it by a positive statement. So repeat quietly to yourselves. Even though I can feel stressed and anxious, I love and accept myself as best I can today. Even though I can feel stressed and anxious, I love and accept myself as best I can today. And for the third time, even though I can feel stressed and anxious, I love and accept myself as best I can today. I've found that clients like the simplicity at the end of saying, I love and accept myself as best I can today, because sometimes we can barely tolerate ourselves. And that's why we're trying to find useful tips and techniques to help us. So, very simply, we're going to go through the points, and I'll probably just be repeating a variation of these words, but I'll also be asking you at some point where you might feel this in your body. And there's no deep thinking. You'll think, oh, I feel a sensation in your heart, in your eyes, in your tummy. Who knows? Don't worry about it. I'll also at some point be asking you if you can give it a number of intensity out of 10. 10 is pretty high. 0 is it's not affecting you at all. Today, because I'm asking you to repeat my words, it may not resonate, but we give it a number. And we'll also ask if you can have a shape or color, because some people they can get right inside themselves and do this. Others, my co-host, can't. I don't even know whether he's just supporting me here with the technical stuff. I don't know whether he's quietly doing it. He's put himself on no video. Maybe he's sneakily doing it up the stairs. Anyway, let's go to the top of the head, please. And just repeat the little phrase that I say. I can feel stressed and anxious. Corner of the eye point and repeat. I can feel pretty stressed at times. Side of the eye. I can feel anxious. Underneath the eye, on the socket, gently. I can feel stressed and anxious. Underneath the nose. Feeling stressed and anxious. Under the lip. I can feel stressed and anxious. Collarbone. Feeling stressed and anxious, and I don't like it. Underneath the arm. I can really feel stressed and anxious sometimes. Let's go back to the top of the head and repeat that. And be prepared for me to ask you some questions. Yeah, I feel stressed and anxious sometimes. Next point. It can overwhelm me. And side of the eye, where do you feel any anxiety at the moment? It's only true to you. Have a sense of where you feel it, please. I feel this, and repeat, I feel this anxiety in my, on my, where? Where do you feel it? Next point under the eye. Give it a number. Rate it. It's a number. Now we're at the point under the nose. I feel stressed and anxious sometimes. Underneath the chin, underneath the bottom lip. Because life can be pretty tough at times. Collarbone. I can feel overwhelmed. Underneath the arm. I don't like feeling like this. Top of the head. This stress and anxiety I can feel. Next point, corner of the eye. And I feel it. Wait, remind yourself where you feel it. Next point, side of the eye. Remind yourself what number it is, or check in with what number it is that you're feeling. Now I'm going to be quiet for maybe about 10 seconds. See if you can figure out what shape it could be where it's sitting. Has it got a size? Is it big? Some people can be descriptive. Now, pass on this if it's too tricky for you. Next point under the nose. All this stress and anxiety. Move on. It serves me no good purpose. We're in the collarbone. It serves me no good purpose at all. Under the arm. I'm going to choose to release some of this anxiety just now. Back up to the top of the head. Choosing to do myself a favour. Now, I'm not going to name the points. I'm just going to make a little statement for the whole of this round and just move on with each one. But we're at the corner of the eye. Choosing to release this stress. Choosing to lower this anxiety. And choosing to release feelings of overwhelm. Releasing this stress. It serves me no purpose. Releasing stress and anxiety I'm feeling right now. Letting it go. Top of the head. Take a breath. Feeling a little bit better. Feeling a whole lot better. Pleased to be rid of that strong feeling of stress. Letting it go. Feeling stronger. Take a deep breath in and out. Feeling stronger. able to get on with my day? Thank goodness for that. Place your hands in your heart, please, your heart area, and just take 2 or 3 good breaths in and out. And when you're ready, open your eyes, if they're closed. So that was the second exercise we were doing. I will continue, but it'll only be for 2 or 3 more minutes. The exercise to have a sense of tapping and that we don't need to hold on to our stuff. But unless we find something to help us move out of the stuff that chatters in our head, you know, it's always going to stay there internalized, but that's for the Q&A. So I'm going to get myself comfortable. I hope that you enjoyed that, but we'll have a chatter in a minute or two. I'm part of I joined someone's tapping routine, and she just works with affirmations. And I thought, interesting. Affirmations, positive statements, and I love it because it's really quite quick. And it's an exercise that we can do. I hadn't thought about tapping with affirmations, but I do. I know a lot, and there's a lot I don't know. And it's always a learning, I find. And I wait till I find what I want to. I'm going to choose a very simple statement, and we're going to do probably just 2 rounds of tapping with this. But give yourself a shake, because you've already done a routine which will have had some impact in some way, positive or negative. But again, we'll go into that in a moment. So give yourself a shake, and I've got to give myself a shake too. And we're going to choose, I've chosen, because this is a lesson rather than getting other people's input for now, I've chosen an affirmation, and it's very simple and it's lovely. And I think you'll probably think the same. So let's refocus. 1 deep breath. And just repeat this phrase after I say it, and we're moving from point to point. I'm starting at the top of my head, very gently, fingertips. And the phrase is, I choose to believe in me. I am enough. Moving on. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. Now, next point, I'm under the eye, it doesn't matter. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. Have you a sense where you might be feeling this in your body? It's just important and key for you where you feel it. It may jump or run around. When we're tapping, we're releasing the energy. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. And a second round, top of the head, gentle fingertips, stimulating those energy channels. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. Maybe the energy is moving. Try and have a sense of where you feel something in your body. That, if you're new to this, that's the place that's useful. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. I choose to believe in me. I am enough. When you finish with the tapping, place your hands over your heart again, please. Take in 2, 3, 4 deep breaths. Allow yourself to quietly come out of this. When you're ready and you're still here, take a drink, gather yourself, unmute please, and I would check that everything's okay. I would love for you to ask me some questions, or I can give you I'd rather you ask me questions, but I can easily give you a quick resume of the important elements of EFT tapping, but you maybe know that. Any questions, or do you want, you go with it?
I'll ask a question if I can, please, because
Sure.
This is my first kind of experience of EFT. I've heard about it lots and kind of wondered about it, but never quite got myself here. So straight away, I've got this very questioning mind that's trying to formulate things and understand things, you know, and gosh, am I doing the right eye? Should I be alternating? Should I be doing both sides? What am I doing? So I've really got a lot of questions that maybe you can sort of give me some
Before
of
you
that.
ask them, that's the one thing I forgot to say. I shift around all the time. It's not important. That's okay. It's what you're comfortable with. I mean, to me, that's critical. It's very funny and amusing. I mean, I'm doing this live. I've done lots of lives, but that to me is a critical point that I forgot to say. It's not that you can tap on the point, but the next time you may think, oh, you know, you may want to scratch your nose. That's okay. It's very fluid and not pinpoint specific. So ask away, Vanda, please.
So, I mean, it doesn't matter then. It's not something that I have to sort of like balance up, you know, that I have to, you know, within the routine, do both sides or be sort of particularly sort of structured about it?
No, you're at ease. If you decided that you wanted to try this on your own, I've got countless videos which I'll be giving links for, but to do with certain routines. But you can make up your own words, and the simpler the better. It's quite straightforward when you're very new to follow a routine. I'll give you an example. I mean, I've got videos because I'm part of a divorce support group, and there's helplessness, disappointment, it's all the emotions, a routine for, yes, to feel more confident, but disappointment, pain, all the negative energies that people have, overwhelm. If one happens to, I work with my own overwhelm, I usually try and do too much daily, weekly. Doesn't pay off. Overwhelm and feeling anxious is bad for our physical health. So if you run overwhelm, you would tap and overwhelm, for example. Carry on and stop me when I...
No, that's fine. So are there different routines for different different sort of psychological, like you mentioned overwhelm, that's something I can really relate to. So is there a particular routine for overwhelm that might differ from sort of generalized anxiety or something? Or?
Well, the thing is, with the routines that I have, I would need to check up on where my overwhelm is. If you are choosing, if you think, well, Susan says I have to do this at a basic level, I would be saying, use this for starters, but change the word to suit you, change the key word. The fact that I may be saying stress, you would be saying louder in your personal private routine, all this overwhelm. I feel this overwhelm, and you'd say, I feel this overwhelm in my head or my heart or my stomach. So you choose, you can adapt any routine that you've caught sight of while you're becoming more confident in using it, and you're using the word that suits you. And you don't need to worry. Say, well, I can hear Susan in the background saying frightened, which isn't a word I use actually, it's fearful. Everything boils down to fear, by the way. Any anxiety that we have is a fear. But you use the word that suits you. And you would only become more confident, Vanda, by practicing, going through 2 or 3 of them, saying, oh, I quite fancy a go at this. They're all only 10 minutes. Today's going on for a good wee while, but they're 10 minutes long maximum. In an ideal world, I should maybe try and do it for 5 minutes, but in 10 minutes, you can feel much better.
Yeah. And the tapping points, that the parts of the body, do they remain, is what we did today, is that kind of the constant, or are there other tapping points? No,
there are other tapping points, but not on this part of our body. With my training, I mean, I'm putting this into half an hour just to help people with the tapping points, but it takes days to understand, to become a practitioner, as you would hope and expect. But these are the points we use. Also, there are finger points where you can be very discreet. And the finger points, which I'll just go over right now, you would be holding your hand up. Hold your hand up just now in front of you. So you're looking at your palm. And you're tapping on the outside nail. I'm on a thumbnail just now. You can do these points very discreetly. You just start tapping on them, and without anybody knowing what you're saying inside your head, you're saying whatever you're choosing to say. And then you move on. You can choose just one, because this is the quick fix. This is the getting you out of what's going on up here. And then you would if you were able to do it, if you're in a place where you could do it, you would tap your middle finger point on the edge of the nail base, and then move on to the ring finger and the pinky. So yes, a very good question. Is we have these, the body points that we've done are the points that you use when you're taking 5-10 minutes, the time out to do it. But you can be sitting somewhere with your hands under a table, for example. Nobody's knowing what you're doing. And actually, if you were to sit and analyze people, which is something I don't do, but people, when they're sitting thinking at a quiet level, often, excuse me, stroke certain parts of their body. They do it, or it's itchy, or they relieve sensations. And so you could be using the collarbone point. Nobody would have a clue. Only you. Nobody has a clue. I hope that helps in some way.
Yeah, no, it's very useful. Thank you. So it's, yeah.
So, but you see, EFT tapping is an energy treatment. We're working with this. When we work at a deeper level or one-to-one, you hold all the information that can help you with emotional, stressful situations. But a huge percentage of the population don't know this. I didn't know it till I found out I needed to find something to help me with stress levels. And I was Reiki, first of all, a Reiki practitioner. I went on to this because it just resonated.
Mm.
But you hold a lot of the information that you can release and let it slip away. And you think, oh, thank God for that. I just feel that bit better. I can get up and get on with my day. So it's a subconscious. We're working with the subconscious. I can't remember, Vanda, because I know you, what your background's in work.
Oh, well, recently I haven't been working because I've been caring for my son, but before that I was working in things like adult mental health and in education, and also in supported housing, so kind of social care. Right.
But do you come from, this is for anybody, do you come from, I don't know whether I can handle this, you know?
No, all right. Maybe I know we get. Yeah, I have also got a background in massage therapy. I have done Reiki.
Okay.
Practicing Buddhist. I'm quite good with the more esoteric aspects.
Yeah.
Of
So it's not, you're not going, oh my God.
No, you're right. Not
Carol,
yet.
have you got any comments, Carol?
This isn't new to me, but I had accessed it through an American company online, but I knew of you, and I wanted to see your presentation today, and it's really consolidated and been more explanatory for me, because I've really paid attention. And whereas before I've certainly used the tapping, but I wasn't quite sure how to offer my clients, particularly apart from myself, the affirmations, or how to do the two together in an effective way. And you've illustrated it really well. So I've enjoyed that, and I will perhaps check in with your website, etc. I had a very busy day today, so I really will sort of squeeze this in. But it's lovely to meet you, and I am really interested, Susan, and thank you for that.
Well, thank you for your comments. That's reassuring for me. Absolutely, that's great. Thank you. So as I said to Vanda earlier on, you can leave as and when. There's a couple more points I'll just go over for Vanda, and you butt in when there's something else. So we're working in energy channels of the body. We're releasing trapped energy that's sitting in our body, doing us no good whatsoever. And I now work with the physical aspect of chronic health aspects. Why do we have our stuff? Now, I can pretty easily help people get to the area that they would be then working at an energetic level. So the point is EFT plays a big part in this work, but also there's, we call it quantum neurobiology. There's aspects of NLP. I'm talking about the physical health because we're working to release energy, to release our own negative thoughts, the stuff that holds us back, causes us problems. And so EFT plays as a part of that too. We're working with energy. If you can, well, I think you obviously both can take that in, but there'll be other people thinking. So I'm just letting you know, other people, that this works at a physical level as well. So who uses it? Doctors, nurses, psychiatrists, day-to-day people, a lot of therapists, counsellors, hypnotherapists. They all, sorry, Carol, you put your hand up to ask a question.
No, I haven't. I'm listening to you. I have something I wanted to add when you're finished.
Okay. A lot of people use this personally and don't talk about it. A lot of them use it personally and do talk about it, but they use it professionally. These people are using EFT because it's a simple technique that seems to help get people out of their head space, if nothing else. Staying up here is not good. I do it a lot. I go into my head space a lot, and it's releasing patterns of behavior that don't serve us. Carol.
I really wanted to add after I thought of it, just to give you my background. I'm a counsellor and a psychosexual therapist. And
a psychotherapist?
Psychosexual and relationship therapist, but I'm a general counsellor.
Okay.
And I think this is a very valuable tool. To me, all these things are tools. I'm an EMDR practitioner and a clinical hypnosis, but I think this is a very valuable, and I like the words you use, quick fix, because everything, all those other things take time. And this is something people can do for themselves, which is a wonderful thing, a tool to offer them. That's really what I wanted to expand on.
Thank you. Yeah, that's right. That's interesting. And perhaps you and I can have another chat, because I work from the physical health point of view. I work with the reproductive and intimate body parts. You know, why we get our stuff. It's quite remarkable.
Will you excuse me? I have a client in a moment, so I will have to leave you. But thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Carol. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Vanda.
Yes.
Anything else?
No, I think that's been kind of like a good introduction. It's something that I need to try, because it was quite interesting for me, sort of observing myself in my thoughts and actual sort of like emotions arising, and it's, I need to perhaps, I can tend to be sort of like too, I think cynical is the word that keeps coming to mind. So and I'm doing something, I find myself thinking, why am I doing this? But you know, and yet at the same time I can feel that there is a process going on. So it's something that I do want to experiment with, and almost like suspend, just park the cynicism, recognize that it's there, and that cynicism doesn't come from any questioning of you know, that there are energetic levels working through the body, and that is that the mind-body connection. It's not through that. Rather, it's a cynicism that, like, this may work for everybody else, but of course it won't work for me because I'm different and I'm too messed up, and that this couldn't possibly help me. So that's the kind of bit that I need to park, to perhaps kind of explore and just allow it to do what it may do.
Yes, I mean, there's a phrase I'm going to just jot down here. I choose to be kinder to me. Many of us self-beat, and we get ourselves into whatever state one can get oneself into. If you're new to this, you know, later on today or tomorrow, but from someone who doesn't use her calendar or planning properly, I know that you should write it in that you're going to take 5 minutes to do this. And I would just tap the simplest one, which you may find it affects you, because this phrase, I choose to be kinder to me, can usually belt you somewhere.
Yeah.
And where you feel the reaction, which may cause tears, or you may think, oh, I've got to stop this for a little while, we're releasing energies, we're releasing the emotions, we're recognizing that, okay, I'm practicing this again. And I've said this phrase, or whatever one you choose to do, and I felt a reaction. And at a conscious level, one can accept, I say you, but one can accept that, gosh, I felt that, it actually hurt me. So I'm going to work to go through these routines, through the phrase, and the one that came to me, I'm just checking it's there. Oh yes, Herb's turned the sound off, sorry. Is I choose to be kinder to me. And it sounds like you would benefit from saying that, seeing how you react, doing 2 or 3 rounds, really penetrating that statement in, and then saying, I am choosing to be kinder to me. I feel the difference. So if you would write that down, and then I'm going to give you, because that would be your starter statement. Your second statement would be, I choose to be kinder to me. And I've just put words to this effect. So I choose to be kinder to me, and that will feel so much better. Because when you've done the phrase, I choose to be kinder to me, and you've had a response, you think, oh, I feel that here, pretty intense. You then go, that feels better. And then you would tap through the points again, that feels better. Thank goodness I've done that. That feels better. Very simple stuff, Vanda.
Yeah.
There's no point making anything complicated, because usually when we're learning something new, we can make it complicated. The simpler the better.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a really good starting point, actually, Susan. That's good, because and I did have that kind of deep intake of, oh yeah, that, and it's that verbalizing it, the hearing you say your own words as well, isn't it? So yeah, definitely I can relate to that kind of feeling it very much in the body. But you're right, then and going through it lost its power, and it did seem to sort of like dissipate, and it was okay. So I definitely felt something shift, so it's,
well, I mean, I don't tap every day, but when there's something, when I recognize it, I need to, and just to sign off, I'll tell my little funny story for anybody that still listens to this to the end. Herb's my co-host, and there was one day a good few years ago, we were kind of squabbling, and he was really irritating me, which can happen in a relationship. So I said, oh God almighty, I'm going to have to take myself off into the other room. And I did some tapping. And because I know how to do this, I did the 2 rounds. I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling annoyed. And then intuitively, because I can be pretty intuitive, I thought, oh, for goodness sake, you're being very stupid. Stop this now. We can catch ourselves. And don't ignore the little things that come in, because I thought, oh, my phrase was, oh, Susan, you're being a jackass. I tell this story every time I can get an opportunity when I'm doing a teaching, because we realize that we're not serving ourselves by holding on to the angst. So as a quick fix, this is useful. And I obviously will have your email, Vanda. I will send you the tapping points, because you may find that one of them, it responds to particular emotions. I haven't got it to hand, but that would be useful for you to look through and say, oh, this one's a bit, play with it.
Yeah.
But for someone or anyone who suffers with stress and anxiety, you've got to, my suggestion is that you give yourself 10 minutes each day for a week. And then remember to go back to it at times.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of learned messages going on, the trigger behaviors. We immediately get triggered into the same old behavior. We've got to snap out of that somehow, help ourselves by being kinder to ourselves. So I think that's probably about me ready to wind up, unless you've got anything else that you would like to ask.
No, just to say thank you very much. Actually, it has been really useful to finally try it out, and I do intend to give it a go.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, and I'll be in touch.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Bye-bye.